Hello, well today I'm about 80 miles from home roughly in Oxford. Some punts there going along the river in a very famous university town. And I thought it'd be good fun to have a look around, see what it's like. And I must say, beautiful buildings everywhere, lovely stonework. The whole city is dominated by university buildings. So they're quite interesting, what they call grotesques, when the mouths aren't open for the gargoyles there. And some of the sort of detailing on these buildings, I mean, for example here, the nice wrought iron little roses or poppies, I'm not certain what they are, but they look very nice and they sort of inspire you to have a go at something like that. Be quite good fun, nice little project. And here's some of the courtyards. And to be a student there, it must be a very privileged life in many respects, because they do look absolutely stunning. I mean, I had to laugh because the students look rather well turned out actually, not like your usual students. But a great place. And this is one of the chapels in one of the colleges with lovely stained glass windows. We only had a couple of days there, in fact a day and a half, but it was good to get a flavour of the place. And here's another college, and a lot of them follow this sort of format with a courtyard. Again, nice little metalwork dealing, bit of hammer work on that, quite good fun. There's plenty to see and do actually around Oxford, and it makes a good little place for a trip. Here's a nice bit of stonework, and when you look closely at some of the detail on these buildings, it is quite stunning. I mean, look at that lovely stone carving. It's fun walking down some of the back streets, and we were trying to find what's sort of nicknamed a Bridge of Sighs. And at first, being a bit ignorant about it, we thought this was it. But this is the correct one. And it does look like the Bridge of Sighs in Venice. It actually connects up two colleges, two quadrangles for two colleges. And that's a rather grand connection walkway. This is the Bodleian Library, which we actually had a tour inside, and it was quite stunning. Wonderful old books. Going back sort of hundreds of years back to the sort of 15th century, and they really were well worth seeing. And there were little sort of points of detail, beautiful timberwork inside, lovely ceilings, lovely plasterwork and painting, and it's a legal deposit library. So it's one of these libraries which takes a copy of every single book that's published. This is the Sheldonian Theatre, and I rather liked these stone carvings outside of these heads. They look rather good fun. This is used for ceremonies, and I think it seats about 2,000 people, so it's quite a large place. On the woodwork front, I've always been quite interested in the Bodleian chair, and I've seen them now from time to time, copies of them, and they had one in the library shop. And here it is. So I think that could make quite a nice little project one of these days. I like the simplicity of its form with the legs just coming down. We saw a very good exhibition, again free. Most of this stuff's free in Oxford actually. An original copy of the cover of The Hobbit, the artwork for it. Handel's music score there. Again, you know, all these originals. Shakespeare's first folio. I mean, the documents they have are unbelievable. They've got most of the key documents. Jane Austen's a draft of her work there, and you can see how she was crossing out and rewriting. Oxford is dominated by bicycles. It's quite flat, very suited to cycling. This is the Ashmolean Museum, and I particularly wanted to get to this. It's a little bit like a mini version of the British Museum, but I wanted to get here because they had a wardrobe which was gifted to William Morris by Burne-Jones. And it has some rather nice painting on it, on the front of it. And there's a little bit of story here about the wardrobe, that it's possibly given as a wedding present to William Morris and Jane Burden. And the history of it actually isn't completely certain, but it tells a little story, as does most of the arts and crafts stuff from that time. And the painting, I like it because it's fairly simple. You feel you could paint it yourself. I mean, it is very skillful, don't take me wrong, but it's not, I don't think, beyond the competence of people to have a go at doing this sort of thing, and I would like to have a go at it sometime. So the actual wardrobe is of a nice simple construction, but I like these sort of paintings. They're like this medieval sort of art. It just looks fun. I like the angels looking down, and I like the colours and the detailing. So I did want to make sure I got to see this one. I hope it does it justice on camera. It's probably a little bit dull in the room where I took this, so I think it's a bit brighter in sort of when you see it in real life, but you certainly do get the impression of what it's like. So perhaps at some point I might do a woodworking project with some painting. Who knows? Look at that. I do think it's good. And you see a lot of this at places like Standon, at the Red House, where there's William Morris influences. So it's worth seeing when you can. This is an old Saxon Tower, so I think one of the older buildings, if not the oldest, about 1,000 years old, and a very nice covered market with some quite nice fun shops to look in. And there's a leather shop and there's a nice cake shop. And here we are looking at all the cakes in the cake shop. And they actually were making them up on the spot there, as you could see them being decorated. We're actually staying a short distance out, not far out, bit of a walk, and right by the Roger Bannister running track, where he broke the record for the running the mile in under 4 minutes. It's a rather high wall around the track, but I could just about poke my camera over the top. And this is the Radcliffe camera, which is probably a symbol of Oxford in many ways. It's the reading room, in effect, from the Bodleian Library. It's a very grand students' reading room, and it probably sums up Oxford. Very grand, very nice, very beautiful, and certainly well worth seeing. There are lots of underground passages, apparently. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one, and thanks for watching.